you. Thank you. Thank you, Ben, and thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to our customers, to our partners, to our board members. We have a couple of board members here too, our advisory board members, and to our employees for really making these user conferences so real and so grounded and so honest as well. So thank you again for coming here. Now, I was thinking hard when I was watching the video. I'm like, when would there be a time when we can get VMware, Nutanix, and Red Hat in the same video and saying happy and together, all together now? That's the day that I'm looking forward to, actually. But today I'm here to talk about a story, and we'll have 3 stories throughout the course of the next 2 days. A story of inspiration that Rajiv is going to come and talk about. It's going to have a ton of chapters around how we innovate. A story of delight tomorrow. Monica is going to talk about how we deliver. A lot of it is around solutions and top-down thinking, top-down delivery. And right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the story of resilience. This is Nutanix in the last 10 years, and we'll have different chapters on resilience. And hopefully, you'll actually get a view of how we actually react to the changing market conditions, how we react to your needs and your asks and your requirements, and finally, how we react when we're up against a wall. So that's what the next half an hour of Nutanix .next will be with you. So I want to start with our vision and whether it has actually withstood the test of time. Almost 6 years ago, we came up with this vision statement. We said, make infrastructure invisible. So how has it reacted to the changing market conditions? Today, we have subtly changed it. The beauty of our vision statement has been that it's been resilient to changes in the market conditions. We have changed infrastructure to computing. And the reason is because we are moving to really thinking hard about databases and desktops and containers and PaaS and many of these things that didn't exist when we really started the no-SAN revolution. For those of you who remember it from 2012, 2013 days, it was about making storage invisible. And then over the course of time, we said we got to make virtualization invisible. And finally, we think over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, we have to make a lot of other things invisible. So computing has replaced infrastructure. And we added in a very interesting word, anywhere. And this is basically the power of software. How we believe that our architecture of really keeping data close to applications, especially interesting data, close to applications, on the commodity servers, whether they're running in private cloud or public cloud, are actually just as relevant, even more so in the hyperscaler world. In the hyperscaler data centers, what's the value of Nutanix software? We'll talk about that over the course of the next 2 days as well. The why of Nutanix software in the hyperscaler data centers, the how we're going to deliver it, and finally the what. What will that experience look like once we have our software running both sides of the aisle as well? So the word anywhere is now a very important part of our jargon, make computing invisible anywhere. I think by and large, the vision has stayed resilient to the changing market conditions, to this need for cloud and need for consumption models actually changing over the course of these next 10 years. Now, people ask me, like, what does invisible mean? And we're going to use this power of 3 a lot. The power of 3 in defining things, the power of 3 when you talk about the stories, inspiration and delight and resilience. So what does invisible mean to us? It's trusted, autonomous, and continuous. So what's trusted? Well, trusted is also 3 things to us. It's secure, always on, and resilient. Now, this is not just our products. I'll tell you this. The reason why our customers keep coming back to us is because they trust us. I heard Paul talk about the word trusted partner. It's not a cliche. It's a reality. And we've come to really define this not just for our products, but also for our customer service and our customer support and our customer success in the professional services. Many of these departments, there's things we deliver, including our cloud services now. It's really about secure, always on, and resilient. What's autonomous? That's the word that, again, is a word that's really taken on in the last several years of people talking about machine learning and AI. But it's something that we've been doing this for 10 years now, and we want to really go and do more of this. Our data plane, if you think of the data fabric that we've built over the course of the last 10 years, has strived to be self-learning and self-healing and self-driving. And we're applying the same concepts to our control plane now and our management plane. What does it mean for Calm and Prism Pro and Flow and many of these things that we're building now to be equally autonomous as well? And I think it's just extremely exciting to know that we're applying the same things to support, customer support. You'll hear about things like Nutanix Insights and how do escalations and events happening in your on-prem environment really elevate to us so that we can keep it invisible from you and make it autonomous from the occurrence point of view when it comes to escalations. And finally, continuous. So what does it mean to be continuous? This is basically the journey of being agile. Can we deliver things on a continuous basis to you? Can we deliver things in bite-sized form factors as opposed to big things? And obviously, Nutanix as a company has been known for delivering bite-sized infrastructure with web-scale architecture and such. But what does it mean to be even smaller than that? Smaller than VMs is containers and serverless functions and such, but smaller than 5-year terms is 3-year terms and 1-year terms and 3-month terms and such. So this ability to continuously deliver, the ability for you to continuously consume, and finally really be able to move things across, because your needs are changing. Your edge needs, your core needs, your public cloud needs, they're constantly changing. Your applications are changing. So what does it mean to have continuous mobility? So continuous to us, it really become two things. Can we come and deliver a service to you? And can we do this anywhere? Can we deliver a service, whether it's public cloud or private cloud, doesn't really matter. And what does it mean for us to be a continuous delivery service to our customers and our partners? So then the first question comes up about subscription. Like, what does it really mean? Why? Why should we have subscription? Does it really change things the way our customers have been thinking about consumption models? The biggest why of subscription is optionality. The second big why is optionality, and the third big why is optionality. So we'll get into some what-if scenarios of subscription. But if you think about the big change in subscription is really about going from perpetual licenses to term licenses. We're not delivering entitlements in perpetuity to you. And that's the big observation that we've made about subscription. The fact that we are not delivering entitlements in perpetuity. It's really two things now. It's units of something. Maybe it's number of nodes, or it's number of virtual machines or containers, or amount of terabytes, or what have you. Some kind of capacity times term. And that's your real entitlement. You're really delivering units times term. And that's a big, very subtle difference now, compared to what it was in the past, where you're delivering entitlements in perpetuity, so the term is basically perpetual. So let's take an example to understand the real value of subscription. Imagine if you had bought these 4 products from Nutanix, and all of a sudden you change your mind. You're like, well, I see a couple of new things coming from Nutanix, but I have residual value. I have residual value in my other products. Can I go and apply them to the new products? Now that's the subtle change of subscription. The fact that we didn't just decouple software from hardware, which is what we did almost 2 years ago, but we decoupled entitlements from products. And you're now able to quantify this, that look, I have residual value left in my old contract. I'd like to apply this to new products. That's the beauty of subscription. Very similarly, so imagine if you had a 3-year term with a number of units. You filled up your first year, you're filling up your second year, you want to burst it out to a cloud because you really want to deliver more number of units in the cloud because of your burst needs. You can do that because there's residual value. And that's, again, the beauty of subscription. The residual value that you can quantify because you have number of units times the term left in your existing contract itself that you can apply to really do more innovative and creative things because your business needs are more agile. And this new entitlement can help you do that. And lastly, I think the fact that we have the same currency, you can move these subscription licenses around back and forth in public and private because we have a common currency to really go and deliver a hybrid cloud environment. As a company, we'd be hypocritical if you didn't think hard about a common currency that works both ways. If you didn't deliver subscription on-prem, which is a private cloud environment itself, you would never be able to deliver a hybrid cloud. So that's the power of subscription coming on-prem itself. And this is one of the biggest observations that we made about becoming a hybrid cloud company, that if we delivered subscription on-prem, we can now deliver an agile subscription model. It's a resilient model, it's resilient to your consumption needs. The ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. It's elastic, because you can go and assign residual value to what you've actually already bought from Nutanix. So that's the other chapter of resilience for us, the fact that we're making subscription resilient to your needs. Now, the next chapter of resilience is the why of AHV. I want to talk about this chapter because it's very near and dear to most of the Newtons who've been around for at least 5-6 years in the company. We were happily running two of our apps, Prism and AOS, on top of VMware ESXi. But then something happened in almost 2013, 2014. We call it the eye of the tiger moment. We probably would not have survived that occasion when we were really pushed against the wall. We didn't have an option to really do anything but to go and take control of our own destiny. And that control was really the genesis of AHV. We said, we got to really own our stack. And we went and built AHV for you. And now the same AHV was delivering those apps, Prism, AOS, on a new hypervisor, which was ours. But the beauty was that this new layer of virtualization was invisible. You didn't have to pay for it. You didn't have to get certified in it. We were able to deliver virtualization to folks who had never heard of virtualization. Citrix administrators and Oracle administrators and Splunk admins and Exchange admins and so on and so forth. That was the beauty of what we actually delivered with AHV. But the best part, we made it delivered next to ESX. We said, you know what? Well, let's make them first among equals. These are two equally good virtualization platforms. And our apps should be delivered on both of them at the same time. Let's not bias one towards the other. And they replicate to each other. We made them fuse with each other. You could have a primary side of ESXi and a secondary side of AHV, and they could fail over and fail back. You could put these hypervisors in the same cluster, in the same data plane. The storage-heavy nodes are running AHV, and the compute-heavy nodes are running VMware ESXi, and they coexisted really well. They made each other resilient. It made the company resilient, it made us resilient, and it makes you resilient. In fact, we have a very funny saying in the company that if you have a Run AHV t-shirt, I don't know how many of you actually have the Run AHV t-shirt, but if you wear it while you're negotiating with your VMware rep, good things will happen. Really good things. It's going to make you resilient, actually. So keep that in mind, actually. Now, this is the other chapter of resilience. We talk about this all the time. Customers and how we've dealt with our highs and lows with our customer relationships and how we've come out stronger. That's why the word anti-fragile is so near and dear to me. We come out stronger when it comes to shocks. Bangdellen, which is one of our, the team is actually sitting here. Thank you, Alex and the team, for really making us a company that's resilient. And look at the story here. We started out with a small email from Alex back in 2011. They became a customer in 2013 with 20 nodes. And the highs and lows continue over the course of the next several years. And now they're in 2019, which is almost 6 times bigger in terms of deployment. And they're looking at new products, but it wasn't without a lot of the lows and the highs along with it. And that, to us, is the joy of really doing business with all of you. The emotions of really doing the business when we actually feel like we are down, we're not out, we come back and prove ourselves with our products and our customer service and our professional services to really say that we belong. And thank you again to all of you for having done that.